Hello, family and friends. Welcome to another section of my short video. My name is Oriyomi Solomon Adeomi. I share my refined life experiences that have been refined by my interaction with Jesus Christ, my interaction with Holy Spirit, human being, and universe as a whole, to let us learn one or two things from my side of the world, with the hope that we'll become a better person while we make the future generation more Christ-centered and better being. Wow, what will I be doing today? Is what I've learned in the 13 years of my life. This experience I want to share today took me 13 years of my life, 13 years of trial and error to actually come to this conclusion. Is what I titled, If Only the Males in Their Life Will Speak Up and all they promptly yielded. I'm from a polygamous family. If you have watched my previous video, you would have seen it there. And last year was one of the most challenging moments of my life. Is the year I thought of committing suicide in a short while, within 2 months. I could remember July 10, when I was on top of that Millennium Bridge. I would have jumped into that water and I would have died. And August 28, 2022 as well, it's a day I would have committed suicide. Maybe you wouldn't have been seeing Oriyomi in front of your camera today. And on Wednesday, I actually do praying for them. But today, being 23rd of August 2023, I decided to do this that I've been ruminating about over the past weeks. And I asked myself, Oriyomi, if you have watched my previous video, you see I mentioned I've had many failed relationships. And I asked myself, Oriyomi, if you have had relationship that failed with opposite sex, why do those relationships fail in the first instance? Are there things you can do properly well so that if you happen to have another relationship, perhaps, so that you don't experience failure as well? And I asked myself, are there things I could ruminate, take responsibility for my action and inaction, such that other people can be blessed with? And I paused and I asked myself, for the past 13 years of your life, you've been in relationship with several women. Yeah, life has not been very good on my side. And the question is, if you had relationship that failed with those women, probably you are the problem, Oriyomi. And I asked myself, maybe you don't really know how to handle relationship. And maybe you were not even meant to be in any relationship. And the answer to it is, maybe not. You have your part to play in what didn't work out. And probably these two have their parts to play in what didn't work out. And do you want me to be candid with you and be realistic with you? For any failed relationship that you see that broke down, both parties have roles to play in what didn't work out. That's the bitter truth I've learned in the last 13 years of my life. And don't let anybody push any blame on you alone as if you are the one that made the relationship not to work out. Probably you might have been the one that dropped the last straw that broke the camel's back. But that doesn't mean it is all your fault. And if you have followed me on my social media, you will see last year my sister, whom I call my Aaron Musumala, came to visit me in the United Kingdom. And for the past years, she's been married for more than 10 years now. She's been married, more than 10 years she's been married. I can't remember vividly for how long has she been married. And when she came to me and we were talking, we were in United Kingdom together, and the short period she had with me, I had the opportunity to interact with her at the level at which I had never interacted with her. And I have the opportunity to hear her talk and interact with her family back home in Nigeria. And one day she was talking to her husband. And I said, no, you don't talk to your husband this way. And she looked at me, she said, Oriyomi, what is it? That is how we've been talking to him now. I said, no. If you talk to your husband this way and you continue to do it this way, it's a matter of time. Your marriage is gone. He was like, really? I said, yes. I said, that's not the right way to talk to a man. I said, has your husband ever complained about this? She said, yes, he has complained. He has complained now, but I didn't change now. I said, so you can see the problem. So even though you might come to talk about certain things that didn't work out with your husband, you paint it in a way that look as if the man is the real problem. I said, whereas you are the problem. I said, there is no way you will continue to talk to the person you call your husband this way that you're going to have a functional relationship. And she paused and she started making adjustments. And when she went back to Nigeria, there are so many other things that happened that I called her attention to, that I said, well, as a man, I'm a man. I wouldn't want my woman to behave like this to me. And she went back to Nigeria. I had the opportunity of speaking with her husband one day. And I asked him, I said, sir, your husband that came to meet me in United Kingdom and the one that came back to meet you, which one do you prefer? And the man said, doc, what's up now? I prefer the one that came back to meet me. And since that day, going to a year now that my sister had gone back to Nigeria, she left November, I've been ruminating about it. What made the changes? What made the significant difference between whom my sister was and whom her husband is seemingly enjoying now? Is the fact that I spoke to her in a way she never expected I would speak to her. I'm a man. I know what I want in a woman. And that is what is born in this topic I'm doing today. Every male know what they want in a woman. Men are not emotional. They are logical in their way of behaving. And do you know what? God has blessed every woman being with a male in their life, irrespective of how that male might be related to them. And those male know the truth. When you listen to a woman talk, you will know when it is her emotion that is talking or not. And when you, that is a male in that woman's life, will not face the truth and speak to them that no, this is not the right way to do things. You are taking the responsibility and role you are not meant to take in your relationship, and you are setting yourself up for a disaster. If they will not confront such women to talk to them that way, it's a matter of time. When their relationship breaks down, eventually you, the male that refuse to speak to them, will be one of the people that will suffer from it. If you have watched my previous video, I said it there. I said a peaceful relationship in a way, in the template in which God created marital relationship, is that a man function in his role as a man, married to a woman functioning in her role as a woman. If you have watched my video, I say if you have that kind of a relationship in which a man is playing his role as a man and a woman is playing her role as a woman, she's not trying to compete with the man, you will have a blissful relationship. But when you interchange the role, irrespective of the way in which you interchange it, you can watch my previous video. If you have man marrying another man, even though she's in a woman capacity, that relationship is a disaster. And if you have a woman married to another woman in a different opposite sex capacity as well, that relationship is set up for a disaster. And when men that are in the family of any woman decided not to play their role over their sister or over their wife, over their sister, over their daughter, is a matter of time. Your daughter is coming back to meet you in your house. Even though you might say, oh, Oriyomi, what is this you're saying? That is just the bitter truth. Your daughter is coming back to come and meet you in your house. It's not a cause, it's a principle. You know what? I said something in my previous video. I said, you make the same mistake, you get the same results. And that is what I have learned in the last 13 years of my life. I keep on making the same mistakes. And I kept on getting the same results. And I don't have to blame anybody for that. Because it's just already a principle. You make the same mistake, you get the same results. And what are the reasons why the male will not speak to the woman they are related to? Either they are your brothers, they are your sisters, or they are your daughters. It's because One, maybe you have financial gain you are getting from them. That's one of the reasons I've noticed. When you have a financial gain, you benefit from your female family member, and they are doing something that is not acceptable, that even you yourself in the heart of your heart, you know you will not accept it, and you can't speak to them. You are not being realistic. That's one of the reasons why the male will not talk, because they are afraid that if I talk to her now in this realistic way, she will cut off the benefit I am gaining from her. And do you know what? It's a matter of time. If you don't still talk, you will still be cut off from that response, from that gain you think you are benefiting. It's a transient thing. Everybody know the truth. They just need somebody to smash it onto their face. Yes. Another reason why the male don't talk, or they look as if they don't talk, is because those female have made up their mind to become recalcitrant, that whatsoever you say to them, they will not listen to you. And that is what I'm telling you, that when you are in a wrong position of a relationship, that means such a woman is functioning in the capacity of a male. And then you are functioning in the capacity of a male, they will not have a functional relationship. And because generally men want somebody that will be submissive to them. Submission, you can watch my previous video, I talk about submission. Submission is not the way you define submission. Submission doesn't mean you agree to his terms and conditions when it's pleasant to you, or when you don't have other alternative. It means you have other alternative, but you bow to a superior argument, or you bow to a superior opinion, you bow to a superior suggestion. That's what submission means. Not meaning that, okay, because I don't have alternative, I agree to his terms. Even though in the heart of your heart, you know you don't agree to his terms. And you know when you know in the heart of your heart, you don't agree to his terms, even though you might be faking it, with time, it will show you are not agreeing to his terms and conditions. You are not agreeing to what he is saying. You are just tolerating him. Another reason why such male will not speak to their female is because they are hypocrites. And what makes them to become hypocrites is one of those two things I have mentioned before, because of what you think you are likely going to gain from them. And as a result of that, you didn't want to talk, or because you have talked before, they don't yield, and you just believe they are not going to yield. Take a look. Like a man, a male that is married to another woman, and the mother-in-law of your wife come to your home, and your mother is behaving in a way that doesn't make sense. Instead of you to speak to your mother, because you know she's just being ruled by emotion, she's having entitlement mentality, you decide not to speak, your marriage is going to break down, because with time your wife will not take that nonsense from you. So that's another example. You will see many marital breakdown because the male that's supposed to speak to this female refused to speak up. Yes, and you know what? If you chose not to speak up, it's a matter of time. The marital relationship or any relationship you are building up will break down. And when it breaks down, you don't have them to blame. It's because you yourself have chosen not to yield and savage your relationship when you are supposed to do it. Another reason why I've seen is that the female are headstrong, even though a male is confronting them, telling them, see, this you are doing is not appropriate. It's not the right way to do things. But because they are headstrong and they will not listen. And when they don't listen, it still boils down to the fact that they are not ready to bow to a superior authority, and they are already a male in such a relationship. So their husband, if the husband decided to take a female role, I'm sure you know the role has been interchanged, and the relationship will not work out. And let me drop this before I go to do my praying for them. And I hope you get to see it and make a change. This is what I've learned in the last 13 years of my life. Please, I beg of you. I'm going to drop it for you in 1 minute. Don't let the family you came from destroy the family that come from you. That's the major mistake people are making in relationship. The moment you marry to someone, or you have a relationship with someone in which you have a child, or you are building a family with them, irrespective of the circumstances that surround the family you are building with them, you should learn when to draw the line between the family you are coming from and this new family you are in. But when you don't do that, it's a matter of time. The relationship and the new family you are building will capsize. And the truth is, If your family really believe they are all self-sufficient for you, why do they want you to build another relationship to have your own children or have your own family? If they know they are all you ever need. So I tell you the truth. Before it is too late for you, make a change and do that is effective and save your home. Don't let the family you came from destroy the family that come from you. My name is Oriyomi Solomon Adeomi. I share my refined life experiences that has been refined by my interaction with Jesus Christ and interaction with Holy Spirit and universe as able to let us learn one or two things from my side of the world, believing will become a better person. And I say thank you. And you can meet me in a few minutes time for my video that I do regularly on Wednesday that I call Praying for Them. And I appeal to every woman out there, please, when a male is talking to you and you know this is a superior suggestion, you don't stand anything to lose bowing to such. But when you don't bow to such and learn, because you still allow your emotion to rule you, and you know emotion is fake, to rule you is a matter of time, you will regret the decision you didn't take. Thank you and stay blessed.